night, Hua Jin returns home alone. As the city grows quiet, he sits in silence and gazes at a photograph of the woman he once loved, the woman who is no longer alive. The victory at the school may be over, but the pain of his past still remains with him. Years earlier, before the creation of the Student Protection Task Force, Hua Jin's wife worked as a teacher. Every morning, he would drive her to school before heading to work. He always warned her to be careful of the violent gang members causing trouble at schools, but she would simply smile and say, "The day adults become afraid of children is the day society begins to collapse." Sadly, her words proved tragically true. One day, she was brutally attacked by a student gangster and later died from her injuries. What made the tragedy even worse was that the court sentenced the attacker to only 4 years in prison. Hua Jin was furious and heartbroken. At that time, Gang Seok was running for Minister of Education. Seeing Hua Jin's pain, he made him a promise. "If I win this election," he said, "I will create a special organization to fight school violence and protect teachers and students. I will dedicate it to the memory of my daughter and your wife." The following day, as usual, Hua Jin visits the minister's office and asks which school their team will be assigned to next. While reviewing reports, they come across the case of a teacher who recently took his own life. The investigation reveals a shocking story. A student named Yeri, who was extremely popular on social media, had falsely accused the teacher of sexual assault. Most girls in her class desperately wanted to be her friend because of her online fame. Yeri constantly live-streamed during class, caring more about her followers than her education. One day, a teacher confiscated her phone so she would pay attention in class. Furious, Yeri edited a fake video designed to humiliate the teacher online. Another teacher secretly witnessed her manipulating the footage and later confronted her, begging her to stop spreading lies. Instead of listening, Yeri made an even bigger accusation. She publicly claimed that the teacher had tried to assault her. The false accusation spread everywhere. People immediately turned against the teacher. He became the target of endless insults and criticism. Even his own wife began questioning him after seeing the allegations online. Unable to endure the humiliation and pressure, the innocent teacher eventually took his own life. When Hua Jin and the minister learn the full truth, they decide that the school will become their next mission. The following day, Teacher Young informs the students that a new teacher will be replacing the deceased instructor. However, the moment the new teacher enters the classroom, the students begin mocking her. They ask inappropriate questions and try to humiliate her. One girl sarcastically comments that she looks different because of makeup and demands to see old photographs of her. Soon, the entire class joins in, shouting for her old pictures. At the center of the chaos is Yeri, who is once again live streaming everything. The new teacher calmly orders her to stop. Yeri refuses. Without hesitation, the teacher grabs Yeri's phone and smashes it against the floor. The entire classroom falls silent. Looking directly at the students, she says, "You may not know me, but you're about to. My name is Han Rim, and I work with the Student Protection Task Force. I came here to teach you discipline. From now on, nobody talks back to me. My rules are the only rules that matter in this classroom." The students are left speechless. Han Rim collects every phone in the room and explains the regulations they will be expected to follow from now on. Meanwhile, Hua Jin meets with the school's teachers and tells them to submit reports about every serious offense committed by troublesome students so appropriate disciplinary action can be taken. The principal attempts to defend the school, insisting that the students are well behaved. Hua Jin immediately shuts him down. The day adults become afraid of children is the day society begins to collapse. The principal has no response. Hua Jin then instructs the teachers to write down every complaint they have and identify the students responsible for causing problems. Outside, Han Rim is busy disciplining the most disruptive students in the school. Later, she reports back to Hua Jin, who praises her performance and dedication. The next morning, Han Rim arrives to find the classroom filthy. She immediately orders every student to clean it, and they quickly begin scrubbing the room under her supervision. Later, Han Rim tells Hua Jin that Teacher Jung appears extremely stressed. She fears that angry parents and public criticism may eventually break her spirit. Hua Jin tells her not to worry. "I'll speak to her myself," he says. In the meantime, investigate the students' social media accounts and collect everything they've been posting online. That evening, Hua Jin begins examining the students' online activity while Han Rim gathers photographs and evidence connected to their misconduct. The next day, Han Rim arrives at school carrying a file filled with evidence. She informs the students that they have committed serious violations and will soon face strict punishment. Meanwhile, teacher Young is falling apart emotionally. She discovers that students have illegally spread private photographs of her across the internet. The humiliation becomes so overwhelming that she can barely sleep. Eventually, she decides to resign from teaching altogether. Fortunately, her colleagues convince her not to give up. The next day, Hua Jin meets with her personally. Teacher Young tearfully explains that everyone now believes she is a terrible person because of the images circulating online. In response, Hua Jin shares his own story. He tells her about his wife, a kind and dedicated teacher who lost her life because of violence at school. Then he shows her something unexpected. Among all the hateful messages online, several students had secretly written encouraging letters supporting her and thanking her for her hard work. As teacher Young reads the messages, tears begin streaming down her face. For the first time in weeks, she feels hope again. Hua Jin gently tells her not to abandon her students or her profession. The following day, teacher Young returns to class with renewed confidence. She begins disciplining students who refuse to pay attention, especially Yeri, who remains the most troublesome student in the school. After class, Yeri once again attempts to spread hateful posts about teacher Young online. But something strange happens. Her account suddenly begins losing content. Post after post disappears before her eyes. Panicked, she watches everything being deleted. The people responsible are none other than the Student Protection Task Force, led by Hua Jin and backed by the Minister of Education. Enraged, Yeri storms toward teacher Young and even attempts to attack her. Before she can do anything, members of the task force intervene. Yeri is immediately restrained and receives severe disciplinary punishment for her actions. Once again, the Student Protection Task Force succeeds in restoring order. In the end, the Minister of Education holds a press conference and announces that the violent female gang operating at Soyeon Girls' School has been dismantled. The school has finally become a safe place where teachers can teach without fear and students can learn without being threatened by bullying, violence, or social media abuse. Another mission has been completed, and once again, Hua Jin's team proves why they were created in the first place, to protect the innocent and restore justice inside schools.